Welcome. Week 2 of the PMLP, the Paris Memorial League podcast. Get your boys Matt and Matt. Last week we went with Matt and Chip. I think Matt and Matt has a better ring to it. Like Mike and Mike in the morning, but Matt and Matt at night. It's kind of our thing we got going on. I kind of like it. I had a horrible week 2. I really don't want to dwell too much time on it because I had a very dark moment where I thought that I might not be in the league anymore. That's since passed, like many things do. I'm really excited for next week. I'm excited to discuss all the things we have going on this week. And Matt, what you got for us?
Yeah, let's run through the matchups. Let's fire back up of what we got. So I'm going to start right here because I liked this matchup. Parker, Chicken and Rice versus the Laporta Authority. Parker and Ryan came down on Monday night. I actually was in bed for it. I know you were too, Chip.
Yep, unfortunately.
But from everything I read and heard, it came down to the last second, and the Eagles kind of screwed it up. Just want to say about Parker's team, Marvin Harrison finally popped off. Rashee Rice doing his thing. Tyreek didn't, and because no Tua, so crazy matchup there. What do you got to say about it, Chip?
Yeah, I mean, I think at one point I remember that Ryan said he was really worried about how it was going to shake out with what's his name? Jalen Hurts kneeling the ball down and losing in the game. So I'm sure it was a peace of mind to know that it wasn't that. He lost for other reasons. But, you know, what can you do about it? Next up, we got your matchup. We have Brees Be With You against the newly named Jay Jetta Fuel and Steel Beams. Big fan of that name. I feel you. It's hard to be on your side here. I gotta respect my brother who's also 0-2. I gotta say though, he was a proponent of no game against the league average, which he would have won that game. So maybe just something to think about for the future, bud. I don't know. Obviously, dominant showing from you, 135 lead scorer. With Tripp right behind you. So good showing for you. Obviously, it's good when your top 3 guys are all above 20 points.
Yeah, no, I felt good about it. That 105 will come back to help Pat in the PF run if it comes down to that. All right, I'm going to jump down to your matchup, Koopa's Troopers versus Alvin and the Chipmunks Part 3. This is one, I know you don't like your score on this. I know it didn't feel good. Earlier on when Tripp was blowing up, I wanted to say something like, dude, you played against the top scorer, so nothing you can do about it. But I know you know that it's not even that. You want to make sure your team does well, so that 79 hurt a little bit. Mahomes is still not playing Mahomes I mean, he's not washed. He's still Mahomes. He played the amazing Cincinnati Bengals. So I think Pollard, you got some guys. It's all good. But Tripp, man, Kamara, 43 points. Oh, my goodness. Nico Collins looked incredible, too. Great showing for Tripp. Anything you got to add?
I'd like to not add anything, but I got to hand it to Tripp. Not only did his running back score 40-plus points, he took him right after I took my third-round pick, which he made sure to remind me of that. And he used all 4 of his taunts throughout the day Sunday. Not all at once, not as it happened. It was perfectly timed just to get me right where it hurts. And he is a professional, so I got to respect him for that and just nod the cap and move on. Speaking of moving on, next up we have Ethan and Cody, or Sniff My Pits and Give Me That Win again. Sniff My Pits looking like an absolute wagon, looking like there's not a lot of slowing down going down on that train. Very, very interested to see how he goes. I think that he's got a great team. And then Cody is, I think that we already heard it 3 times. We're probably going to hear it a million more the rest of the season. The guy cannot stop complaining about injuries, and he drafted the most injury-prone players in the league. So I'm not sure what he expected. But 93.4, I think that's only, that's still bottom 4 in scoring. So your team sucks, Cody.
Yeah, I mean, he's got nobody left to play. Zay Flowers looked good. I mean, there's a lot of players here. Like you said, Ethan's team's a wagon. All right, last matchup from last week, the snooziest matchup, but also makes for a really fun matchup.
Yep.
Grant, Lamb Chops versus Help. Been no Christian McCaffrey for 2 weeks, and now no Christian McCaffrey for multiple more weeks. I'm going to talk about this matchup a lot when we do the preview of next week because this was really important in my mind. That 81-76. I mean, obviously it's close. So if you can scrape out a win with that bad of a performance, that's going to be good. So Ben, you got pretty lucky here. it's going to really help you as we talk about later. But very close matchup. Speaking of Ben, we're going to move on to the next segment.
Yeah, let's take down the screen share while we do this.
All right, gotcha. You want to do the honors?
Yeah, man, it's about that time. We've been super excited for it. Last week we didn't have one, unfortunately. We teased it earlier in the year, and it's finally here. We have our first message of the week, or in this case, series of messages of the week. I think there is no question what we're going to go with here. Possibly some of the funniest content I've ever been a part of in any group chat ever. Matt, you want to do the honors and crown the winner?
Yeah, Ben definitely wins for his Monday Night Football text strand about being a horny goblin and all that entails. For the sake of everybody's privacy, we're not going to share any of the exact text. But I think everybody in the league knows exactly what we're talking about. And yeah, Ben, you had us rolling on the floor. Chip, if you had to highlight one of your favorite messages, if you can, from that strand?
Dude, I mean, you already gave Ben the crown, deservedly so. I was absolutely on the floor, couldn't keep myself together laughing. But dude, I gotta hand it to Trip for one of the funniest messages of all time. Just knowing Trip and knowing how Ben and Trip's relationship is, and seeing that interaction was just as funny as it gets. It was awesome.
Yeah, no, I loved it. Definitely, like, Ben even calling Trip out just out of nowhere. Like, yeah, Trip, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry for what you got to see tonight. So good.
Oh, man.
All right, so, Chip, I got a little surprise for you. We got to call in. Yeah. And I didn't tell Chip ahead of time who was calling in, so this is going to be live on air. I haven't listened to it either, so let's hope what he's got to say. Here we go.
Yo, what is up, PML Podcast? This is Team Chicken and Rice calling in sizzling hot after a great Week 2 victory on Monday Night Football. That was sweaty. That was damn sweaty, and I was actually sweating. Had to be from all the buffalo soup I had for dinner last night, but also from the matchup. That was unbelievable and down to the wire. So, 1-1, I'll take it. 0-2. 0-2, you're in a dark spot. Because if 0-2 turns into 0-3 and then 0-4, you're done. And, Chip, you got Team Chicken and Rice this week. You got to be a little nervous. I would love to put you down to 0-3.
I did really.
Because that 0-3, like I said, man, that rethink things. But good luck to you. Good luck to you, big fella. And the segment, that I want to propose to you guys is what makes your team bad.
Ooh.
What about fantasy football? What makes it fun is obviously talking shit and then trades. So if people can acknowledge and hear what makes their team bad, maybe they can try to trade and make it a little bit better. And no one better than Matt and Chip, the two smartest guys in the league, to go through every team and shit on each team. So get creative with it. I'll give you an example. Cody, your team's bad because you drafted Caleb Williams over Jaden Daniels. And you're always the most injured team. So there's a combination of factors. But, Matt and Chip, thanks for having me on. I appreciate you guys. You're doing great stuff in this podcast. I always look forward to listening to it. And, best league in the country, PML. Team Chicken and Rice out.
Wow.
Unbelievable. I got to say, from start to finish, the energy was here, all the way at the top. I love that kind of call-in. That was just so much fun. Chicken and Rice, man, you got lucky. Marvin Harrison Jr. decided he wanted to play football again in the first half. Just saying, it's not going to happen every week. So, look out for a good game. I think I got a good, I'm just saying, 1-2, we could both be 1-2 next week. And that's not a bright place either, buddy. That's not a bright place either.
Nice. Yeah, you got to tell yourself that. That's good. I like that. That's good.
It's of course a lie. I'm just lying to myself right now. But, I got to do what I can.
No, I've seen Parker, especially when he gets really confident. I've seen him lose, so yeah. That's good. Parker, I love that message. Thank you for that. Thank you for the energy. How do you feel about the proposal, Chip? Do you want to just go through team by team?
Yeah, up to you, man. We'll just do like we did the draft. You just pick one, I'll pick another one until we've done them all.
I can't pick Patrick. I've said too many things about his team.
All right, let me pick Patrick. I'm pulling his team up right now. The worst part of his team is, let me think about it really hard. It is his Oh, it's his running backs because he didn't draft any. Zamir White might not even be the number one running back on his team. Ramondre Stevenson is Ramondre Stevenson. Yes, Carson Steele now, who is going to get him a nice solid 2 points a week. That's really excited. So you want to take the next one, Matt?
Sure.
I'm not holding back. I hope you don't either, because if I'm the only one throwing shots, it's not going to be good for me.
I got to say this about Pat's team, though, real quick. This is a good thing. You know, I made fun of all of his Raiders, and they looked so good last week.
I know.
And then now they play Carolina, the worst team in the league. So, like, I don't know. They could, wow. It's just like, all right, these three Raiders could go off.
Yeah.
This is honestly the opposite of Ryan's proposal. Ryan said go say something good about each team.
I love it.
All right, I'll do Ryan's. I guess I'll pull up Ryan's. It's hard. This is hard. He's got a good team. Shoot. I didn't know. I thought he was just going to have us say something bad about our team. I didn't know we had to say about any team. He kind of changed that at the end of the message. I will say, I'm going to say his wide receivers. His wide receivers are a little weak. He's got Garrett Wilson and Mike Evans, and Garrett hasn't been what you thought he would be. And then he's got no other wide receivers like that I love. Christian Watson, DeAndre Hopkins, Alec Pierce, Joshua Palmer, just no like studs. So, but if I had to pick something,
I mean, it's hard to. He's got a great team, obviously. I'm going to go Cody because I think it's just an easy target at the end of the day. The guy has no wide receivers, not a one to be seen, and he's starting Mike Gesicki at tight end, who he picked up. Zay Flowers is great, but then you got J-Mo Williams and Brian Thomas Jr. Big question marks. They could pop off. They could not pop off. They could give you duds a couple weeks in a row. So, and of course injuries. That's the worst part of your team.
Yeah. All right. Looking at Grant's. This is tough. I don't like saying the bad things.
Yeah, I mean, it's way less fun. It's fun when it's like, I don't know. It's not fun.
No. I mean, Joe Mixon has looked good. But so has Jerome Ford, and you got the Giants this week. He's good. Joe Burrow hasn't looked good. I can't say anything bad about Joe though. Like, I'm not allowed to do that.
Well,
CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, okay. That's the thing. His running backs are banged up. Mixon's questionable. Aaron Jones is questionable. Deontay Foreman got a lot of work. So I'm gonna call out the running backs. I would say that's the weak spot.
There you go. I'll take Sniff Pitts, Ethan Kemp. You got stud quarterbacks, stud running backs. Wide receivers, not awesome. Not awesome. Tight end is very questionable still. I was high on Kyle Pitts, but he hasn't panned out yet. But I'll go wide receivers. Third best wide receiver is Xavier Worthy, and he had a great game, but that doesn't mean he's going to do it every week.
Just one good game, really.
Yeah.
All right, I guess I'll do Tripp. My opponent this week. Oh, this is going to come back to bite me. Anything I say here. The person I say, the guy's going to score a touchdown. Okay, he's starting Alan Lazard right now in wide receiver position. I just now saw that. Keep him there. Let's keep him right there. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, Alan Lazard. Let's do it. All right, that's it. That's all I got.
All right, well, in that case, let me do chicken and rice. Because I'm looking at his running backs right now, and I see three of them in the starting lineup, but he's got both of his flexes filled with wide receivers. So I don't know how he did that. He's got a running back in the quarterback spot. And then the two running backs that he has in the running back spot, one of them may or may not play this week, and the other one is where all roads lead on one of the worst teams in the NFL. So it's not a good place to be, Park.
All right, so I think we got to do our own teams. I think that's kind of part of what.
Take Ben, and then we'll finish out.
Oh, we missed Ben?
Yeah.
Okay.
On, Matt.
Yeah.
He's a new guy. You got to respect him a little bit.
Well, this is going to be hard to say something good in general. Chris McCaffrey on the IR. Pacheco on the IR.
Yep.
So obviously he doesn't have a running back. He's starting Javonte Williams. I mean, I'll say this: I don't like Stephon Diggs. I don't like DJ Moore. So I don't like his flexes. I know he doesn't either. So not anything new here.
Yeah.
And his tight end. He's got no tight end.
Yeah.
He's actually got 3 tight ends, but he has no tight end.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying
to
say.
Spot to be. That's a really tough spot to be. All right, well, I guess I'll take a big fat dump on your team.
No. You got to do your own. We're doing our own.
Way better. That's so much easier. You go first. I have an easy job here.
Okay, yeah. I like that I have a hard job. Yeah. Like that, Parker? You made me say something. Okay. I'll say no Cup or Puka is going to hurt the Rams, and I think Kyron is not going to be able to move the ball down the field. That's not my weak spot. I'm just saying I'm worried about him. But my weak spot's obviously the wide receivers, even though Malik Neighbors is the most targeted wide receiver in the NFL through 2 weeks. But I'm still not like JSN looked good, but it's scary. Tank is scary. Tank got 2 points last week, or 1.8. Yeah. Jaden Reed doesn't have anybody throwing the ball, so I'm worried about wide receivers. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. Well, I'll come over to my team and say I'm worried. It's a performance issue. It's, the material is there, the building blocks are there, but the house is not being built. Every guy has had a good game, but none of them have done it at the same time or when they're in the starting lineup. So just a matter of time until it all falls apart.
Yep. All right. Let's dive into preview for week 3. You want to kick us off?
Yeah, week 3. All right, week 3. Let's start us off. So we got Ben. We have you and Trip. So that's going to be a battle. We got the first and second place teams. I believe you guys are number 1 and number 2 in PF, and also both the only 2-0 teams. Going to be a battle. Right now, the projections are not in your favor, but the projections also don't have Kamara scoring 16 touchdowns this week. So we'll see.
I think you might be looking at the wrong thing. Projections are definitely in my favor.
Not in Trip's favor. They are in your favor.
My bad.
Yep, sorry. They are in your favor, not in Trip's favor, but the projections are not factoring in the fact that Kamara is going to score 16 touchdowns this week.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We're both 2-0. I know you said 1 and 2, but one of us will get our first loss. So, yeah, one of us will get our first loss. All right, I want to talk about Ben and Ryan. So Ryan has looked, even though he's 1-1, like he's looked dominant. Ryan has looked really good, and Ben is in shambles per his team name. Help. This is where I was saying like Ben squeaking that win out against Grant last week, scoring 80 points and getting a win, has saved him. Because if he didn't do that, he'd be sitting here against one of the best teams, and potentially looking at 0-3, which is a scary one. So as Parker already told us, so that helped him. Keep him from that, but it's an uphill battle from here because, I think Ryan's projected 20 points higher than him right now. 20.
Not good. Not good.
It's one of the biggest spreads. Yeah. You go ahead. Who you got next?
Well, let's talk about another big spread. We got Lamb Chops and Sniff My Pits. That's a big spread right there. Both teams 1-1, so a lot on the line. Like I said, 1 and 2 is a dark place. You do not want to be there. And in that, I just was talking about how Sniff My Pits is a wagon. He's projected to score 8 less points. However, a lot of Qs in Grant's lineup, so we'll see how that plays out for him. I think Ethan's team just has that grit, that grittiness to him, where he gets down in the trenches with his guys, and they find a way to get it done. So we'll see, man.
No, I agree. That's gonna be a fun one. You mentioned them both being 1-1. I should highlight, which is already probably obvious knowledge, 8 out of 10 teams are 1-1. That's not true. That's not true at all.
No, it's 6. You said it on the phone, and I was like, that's not right.
Yeah, that's not true. 6. That's still a lot. That's a majority.
It's more than half.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do your matchup with Parker here. I mean, look at these projections: 106.8 to 108.8. That's a 2-point projection. That's a pick 'em in fantasy world because, I mean, nobody really just scores 2 points there. This is a toss-up. This is where Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, that battle that we saw opening night of the NFL this year, going at it in fantasy now, both projected 20, and we'll see if Mahomes can do it. If I had to pick, which I don't think I've made a pick earlier I kind of did. I'm taking you in this one. I really am. I think you get Park this week.
You did that last week. Yep, you took me over Trip. See what it did to me. Couldn't even get 8 points. All right, well, let's move on from that. I think we're rounding it out here with the last matchup. We got Pat and Cody. I say this one for last specifically because we got my buddy, 0-2. We're in the trenches together, in the pits together. And 1-1. Projections are dead even. Like you're saying, it would be a pick 'em. It would be right there. Both guys, got some question marks in their lineup, and both guys have some very positive parts of their lineup. But gun to my head, I'm taking Jay Jetta and the Steel Beams. Hopefully, though, Pat has a good sense to take Carson Steele out of his starting lineup and sit him on the bench. And then I'll feel much more confident about my friend Patrick.
I'm going to laugh when he scores 2 touchdowns this week.
Very likely will.
Carson Steele. Yeah. Can I point something out? I'm curious your thoughts on this. This is just riffing, and then we got to wrap this up. Like, on the screen it projects, like, your top 3 players. Mm-hmm. I don't know why, but it feels wrong or bad to me if 2 of your top 3 are 2 quarterbacks because obviously you're only playing 1.
Yep.
Like, you look at some of these other teams up here, other top scoring teams, they don't have 2 quarterbacks because they got ballers that are up scoring quarterback level. I don't know. That scares me.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams. Cody, drop him, please.
Honestly, you have to. It's embarrassing.
All right.
Well, you want to stop that screen share, and we will wrap this puppy up. Matt, you want to take us out as the music plays?
Yeah, let's do it. Thank you to everybody tuning in to the PMLP. Call in next week. Be on it for the message of the week. I want to see it. Going for it. Let's get it.
Of the week. All right.
Week 3.
Peace out, y'all. We'll see you next time.